What's up, y'all? Service only. I'm here with St. Lucci. We're gonna be talking about some day trading, investment, stocks, stuff like that. He's going to bust some myths and just give us information around that space. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
Good to have you on.
Indeed,
Indeed. Been a while. I mean, we known each other for a little bit. But you've been doing your thing.
Yeah, I've been trying, man.
You've been doing your thing.
I've been trying.
You was in New York for a while, kind of killing it out there.
I was in New York for a while. Now I'm back in Boston, closer to my family.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean the markets have been amazing since Donald Trump took office. I don't know if we should give him credit for it or we should give Obama credit for it, but the markets have been crazy and up and up and up. You got stocks like Amazon or Netflix now being worth more than GE and all these other companies that have existed for decades, and now all these content companies are now worth way more.
Yeah.
You know, Apple, Amazon, all these tech companies now are the place to be. So it's fun. It's fun. Every day is fun.
So what do you do over at St. Lucie for the guys that out there that have no idea?
Sure. St. Lucie is like a alter ego.
Okay.
I created for myself because I'm a crazy dude, you know. So it's kind of like a basically like a financial misinformation, so to speak.
Okay.
And you know, there's a lot of ways to get information on finance, but they're very dry. You know, you go on CNBC or you go on Yahoo Finance, like you only see one type of person on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't really see different viewpoints.
So St. Lucie pretty much brings the color to that space.
Brings the color to that space. Brings the color to that space.
Okay.
100%. It brings that kind of language and brings that kind of style.
Okay.
To that place. 100%.
So it's more. I mean, you're giving the facts.
Yes.
You're giving real information.
100%. 100%.
But you're delivering it in a way that's more authentic to yourself
a much more simplified way. You know, finance is very daunting, as you must know, for a lot of people. I mean, even taking out a simple loan, the contract details are pretty. If you read the fine print, they're pretty crazy. And it's no different for stocks or you know any other type of investment that you're taking a look at, cryptocurrency and all this kind of stuff. So it gets pretty daunting out there. It gets pretty scary for everybody.
So that kind of makes me think about one of the first things I would just want to touch on. Why do you think investing in stocks is just investments in general? Why is it so intimidating? Why does it look like a whole nother language for people that they don't even want to begin to even think about that?
You know what? Just like what we were saying, like when you turn on CNBC, when you turn on all this stuff, it kind of shows this world where certain people who are quote unquote regular or whatever, they don't feel like they fit in this world, and they feel like that kind of content is just automatically difficult to consume. Have you ever like met somebody that was just sort of, they didn't want to address a topic that they couldn't fathom them understanding, like even simple mathematics, where people just have this fear of it, and they just kind of, whoa, don't bring that stuff to me kind of thing, you know? So that's kind of what finance is for a lot of people. But in reality, you're just buying for $1 and selling it for $2. That's all you're really doing. And you're just making a prediction on if something could be worth more and something would be worth more down the line. Just like real estate, just like any other product. Yeah. That's all this shit really is.
Okay. All right. So with that, what are you teaching or coaching? What are your services at St. Lucie? So people that can come in, what are they getting?
Sure. So, I mean, again, like they're getting education. They're getting a lot of education on how to place a trade, why you want to place a trade, what stocks you want to take a look at, what stocks are active, what stocks are interesting, and then options too as well. So there's other ways. And again, this is where finance becomes a little bit complicated, is that they take a financial product like a stock, and then they make a derivative on it. So they make, and then they make a second derivative, and then they make a third derivative. So it's just like when the housing market crashed and everybody figured out that they were selling bundles of bonds and bundles of loans, and they were swapping, all this package of loans to different companies and everything. So while you guys were taking out just a regular mortgage, your mortgage was being bundled into a package and being sold to the highest bidder And then other people were betting on the strength of your loan. So most people didn't even know these things were happening.
Yeah. So people would make. So if you wasn't paying your mortgage,
Right.
people were betting on the fact that maybe you're not going to make your mortgage payment.
You weren't going to be able to make your mortgage payment, and a group of people wouldn't be able to make their mortgage payments. So just like that, you can bet on a group of stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You can bet. You know what it's just like? It's just like in a football game where you can get your side bets.
Okay.
So not only do you bet on if the Patriots are going to win, but you bet on the total points. You bet on who's going to throw up during halftime. You bet on.
So you just bet on.
You bet on the coin flip. You
Yeah.
bet on all this kind of stuff. And just like that, you can do that with stocks. And those are called options. Yeah. So I'll teach people how to trade options. I'll teach people how to sell these options. So there's a lot of different ways you can use these products to make money.
So someone can come to you with no knowledge of
I like those
the
people
investment
better.
game at all.
I like those people better.
Okay.
Because if you come in with a predetermined notion of what it should be, you ain't making money.
I got you.
You know, there's a lot of people who come into the game, especially people who generally are told in their industry that they're the kings of the world and they know everything. Like, you know, a lot of doctors come to me, a lot of lawyers will come to me, a lot of programmers will come to me. And these folks have a preconceived notion of what finance is and how to make money in the market, and that shit ain't how to do it. It ain't how to do it, you know? So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I will, most of my customers are active traders, guys who want to trade every single day. There's so much opportunity every single day, every single second, you know, and then I'll get some longer term guys who just want to park their money in something nice for 5, 10 years. You know, we'll get those guys too.
So what are some of the misconceptions about investments?
About investments in general?
In stocks. Yeah.
In stocks?
Yeah.
I guess the growth of some of these stocks, and then too, like there's a scammy part of this world, just like there is with real estate too.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that are out there pushing stuff that is not real. You know, there's many companies that are being pushed through email lists and stuff that you guys might get in your email all of a sudden, like, hey, check out this stock. It's exploding. It could be the next growth potential, and you could make 2,000 times your money kind of thing.
In this fluff.
Most of that shit, like, those companies don't even exist. Those companies don't exist, but they do on paper, and they do somehow with the stock. And again, like, this is the gray area of finance that really gets people scared, because they hear these boom and bust stories all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say the scammy part, you know, is a huge misconception. I mean, there's a giant world of legit money making opportunities, you know, that are free and accessible to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not all a complete scam. You know, a second on that one.
I mean, like for instance, people that you deal with, or have you seen people normally come into space and think that they're gonna get rich quick?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There could be. Yeah. That could be.
And does that really happen?
That
How you know?
Sure.
How real is that?
There are myths. 100%. Those same email lists we were talking about will try to sell you the dream that, you know, you can double your money in a week. You can double your money in a month. You can triple your money in the same amount of time. And all that stuff is possible. It is possible, but it takes a huge amount of discipline and effort, which most people do not expend when they come into the game.
Yeah.
Most people are expecting to, when they see stuff like that, invest in something, and all of a sudden 3 months later, you know, they're going to look at their account and they think they're going to be rich. And there's a huge amount of effort, discipline, and work that goes into that kind of stuff. And it's more mental work than anything. So I would say that's a myth too, or that's part of the myth, and debunking that myth. Most of the game is just having control of your mind and your emotions while you're trading this stuff. That's the biggest reason why most traders fail. Okay. And most people who try to do investing, they fail as well. They think that it's a knowledge game, and they think that if you know enough about a stock, you're going to make money. But that's complete bullshit, because you can know as much as you want about a stock, but if you're on the wrong side of it, or the pricing has gotten too high, then it doesn't matter. People were saying Bitcoin is going to 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000, and while it still may go there, people were buying it 19,000 or 20,000. That shit is worth 6,000 or 7,000 right now. It could go down even lower before, before it ends up on that trajectory. So the mental, what are you going to do while those things happen? Are you just going to sit there and scream at everybody and just say, oh, it's still going up, it's still going up? These are the emotional games that require most of the effort for you to make money in the market.
So what about you? Let's backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
What brought you to the space? What got you interested in investment, stocks?
Man.
And why are you doing what you're doing right now?
I mean, I have to explain what Sang Lucci is. I have to explain the definition of it. Like,
so let's say that.
Lucci, my last name is Sangvi, and my favorite song growing up, my favorite 90s hip-hop song ever, of all time, it still is to this day, is Lucchini, Camp Low. And the chorus was, Lucchini pouring from the sky, let's get rich. And for some reason, I've always been the type to gravitate towards the faster money, you could say. I'm trying to put it nice for calling myself a hustler.
I mean, if you're a hustler, you're a hustler. There's nothing wrong with saying you're a hustler.
I've always had those types of jobs.
I got it.
I've always had the commission based, the go out and start something and see what happens type of jobs. I've only had one real job, like one quote unquote real job my whole life, and that was like a financial analyst. Maybe when I got out of college. And so how did I get started trading? Honestly, I was just looking on Craigslist one day, and I saw a job for an equity trader in New Hampshire. And I walked into this place, and it was like 40 white kids, literally 40 white kids, 26 years old, 27 years old, 23-year-old white kids, all of them. And I'm the only brown dude walking in there. It's New Hampshire. It is New Hampshire, and they're all wearing T-shirts and flip-flops. And one kid made like $15,000 in one day, and then bought everybody pizza. I just walked in for an interview, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So let me kind of check this stuff out, and then come to find out it's just day trading. It's just trying to understand supply and demand, and what makes a stock go up and down. And then certain times there are just high volume periods where you'll get large moves on stocks. And that happens every day now. I mean, Amazon moves 30 points every single day. And when you have a stock that moves 30 points every single day, there's a huge money-making opportunity every single day. So that's kind of how it started for me. So I started at that shop, just trying to learn what the hell I was doing. I wasn't making money for a year and a half.
Cool.
I didn't make money for a year and a half. I lost money for a year and a half. So that's a big misconception too. The second you start investing, like you're gonna make money. Nope. And a lot of it is just understanding who you are as a person. And most people don't test who they really are. They never put themselves in situations where they test their emotions. How angry they can get, and what can happen when that anger comes out, or how sad, or how depressed, or whatever. So when you trade, remember, we're talking about gambling here. You know what I mean? So if you wanna come up with an emotion that's similar, you guys sit on the blackjack table, or you might sit on the poker table, and you're up $2,000 or you're up $3,000, but you want to go for the jugular, and what ends up happening?
You crap out.
You crap out. So the same things happen in trading. I would say the game of trading has way better odds than any other game out there. But you still have to understand what makes you tick.
So you think the game of trading has better odds than, let's say, real estate?
No, not even close.
So you would say real estate?
Not even close. Real estate,
trading under?
hands down, because the value of what you're trading is not going to disappear. It's not going to disappear in thin air.
True.
There obviously are situations where you'll get a drastic change in price. But it is still a commodity. It is still a commodity that is traded up and traded down all the time. There's people are losing money and people are making money. But with stocks and everything, it just moves a lot more. It's just much more volatile. So I would definitely put real estate first. Definitely, absolutely, 100%. I would put real estate first. But you ain't gonna actually. You know what? And time has a lot to do with real estate too.
That's true.
Time has everything to do with real estate. So you can be a quick flipper and you can go for the quick buck or in real estate as well. But you still have to deal with time. Time to build, time to procure, time to sell. All this kind of stuff. Whereas finance and options and trading, you in and out in a second.
Quick.
You in and out in a second. So So absolutely, I
All right.
would put real estate first.
So how did your firm start?
Okay, my firm actually started after. This is a funny story. 2009, I did really well, and this was when the market crashed, and then you could buy a stock like Citigroup for $1, and it's trading at, I don't know, $60 right now. You could buy, you could buy any name that you could possibly think of. You're buying it for pennies on the dollar, and in a year or 2 years, like these things would double, triple, quadruple. Of course, the smartest person was the one who bought there and is still holding.
Yeah, for sure.
But come on, I was 24, all right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this money. So I did really well in 2009, and this was the first time that I had all this money as a kid, And these are the things that you have to go through. So I had a good amount of money as a kid, and, I went about this lifestyle that I couldn't afford at the time, or at least I figured out that I couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Made all the mistakes possible, invested in things that just couldn't go anywhere. So I made a lot of mistakes. But I had the best year of my life because, again, like I pursued things that I really wanted to pursue. Like I was doing Muay Thai, I was learning languages, I was playing soccer all day in Somerville. Playing tennis all day, like these were the things that I just enjoyed doing, reading and all that stuff, working out and everything. So, that was my day. Those were my days. And then eventually I was like, how the hell am I going to sustain this lifestyle for the next 30 years? So I was like, shit.
Which is a real thing.
I was like, shit.
It's a real thing.
I was like, shit, I don't have enough money for this, So then I was like, okay, I gotta come up with something. I gotta do something. So that's when I created stlucci.com, and I started writing about misinformation in finance. So, and I would do like satire articles as well, because finance was so fucking boring. It was so boring to read about it. I was just like, all right, let's jazz this shit up. So analysts would come out with upgrades and downgrades on most important stocks or stocks that were trading. So they would come up with an upgrade on Chipotle Mexican Grill, for example.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, buy this stock because white people love this shit. Like anything that white people love and want to buy, like you need to buy this shit. And that would be the content that I would push out there. And people on Twitter would they loved it. And I would just do satire pieces about everybody. There was people who were doing illegal things. There were CEOs doing illegal things of major companies. Yeah. And I would just make fun of them, and I would just call them out, and people would love this stuff. So that's how I created the website with the content and everything, and that's when I realized, like, okay, there's a business here. Yeah. There's something here. And that was something I always used to enjoy, just writing. And that was it. So then finally I was like, okay, these people are coming to me for my expertise in trading. So let me impart this wisdom that I've created thus far, on those folks who want to try out the game.
So what have you learned since when you started it to now?
To be a person who is looked at as sort of a financial guru, so to speak. And it's a difficult place to be because you got to put your money where your mouth is. Yeah. There were several periods in time where my exposure now online, it kind of messed with my head a little bit, because your performance is out there as well. If all of a sudden you take a big loss, losses are part of the game, but people don't want to see that, or people you also don't believe people don't want to see that. But now I'm at a point where I'm comfortable putting that out there because, damn it, if I don't, nobody else will. Yeah,
and it's good for people to see that that's what really happens.
It's reality.
And just because you take a loss, that doesn't mean the next move is not going to be a better move.
100%.
Or you learn from that move to make a strong move.
And having it took me a while to have that confidence. Though. Yeah. In the beginning, when I would post a loss, I'd always be scared about it, like maybe I'll lose some customers here and all that kind of stuff. And it became that kind of business, though. And I never wanted to run that kind of business. Most of these people that are pushing financial services, they don't talk about the losses. They don't talk about their losses. They don't like to admit, nobody likes to admit when they're wrong about shit.
That's true.
And in the stock market, you're wrong freaking at least half the time. And that's okay to be wrong half the time, and you're still making money. you're still making money. You know, I was wrong. My win-loss ratio a couple of years is like 30 by 70% loss ratio to 30% winners. But I was good at cutting my losses short, and then my winners would take care of all those losers and then some. You know, but showing that to everybody. And you know how Twitter is. Everybody's quick to jump on you.
Yeah,
the second you say something, you know, the second you use the wrong word, or the second you did something that you said you weren't going to do, and all this kind of stuff, and you open yourself up to this criticism.
Yeah, to the criticism, yeah.
That it can break you. You know what I mean? It definitely has an effect on you. Anybody who says it doesn't, it's fucking lying. Fucking lying. So that would be the one thing that I learned over the years, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else would you want to share with our viewers about yourself, about the site, about investments overall?
You know, I would say get started. Get started. You know, there's so many people that, just like we said before, have a fear of getting into the game and have a fear of it. Like, you can create, remember, you can create whatever is in your mind, like, you can create it. If you want a more risk-averse strategy where you don't want to take that much risk, and you don't want to put up that much capital per trade, or you don't want to, you can control all these things. However, again, it comes back to your mind and being able to control your emotions and all that kind of stuff. So I would say get started with a little bit, you know. If you have a couple thousand sitting around, you know, throw it into some, you know, some cryptocurrency stuff. Throw it into a couple of your favorite stocks that you think 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line are going to do well. And then once you start to study the markets and once you start to watch them often, you'll start to pick up patterns. You'll start to pick up patterns all day. It just matters, you know, the only thing that matters is just get in there, get a taste for the content, you know, get a taste for how the market moves, how some of your favorite stocks move. And then you'll start to see little trends here and there where you can pick up stocks cheap. You can short stocks. Remember, you can bet on on stocks going down. You know, that's a huge thing. That's actually one of the big myths and misconceptions. Like, most people don't even know you can do that.
Or bet on stocks going down.
You can bet on a stock going down just as easy as you can bet on a stock going up. I love betting on stocks going down.
Yeah, he does. He told me about that.
I love it.
Yeah, maybe we'll provide another video.
Nothing makes me happier.
Talking about how he just loves to bet on that.
Nothing that makes me happier than betting on a company that I think is shit. I think is going to nothing. GoPro was a perfect example. That stock went from $6 to $90, and it went back to $6. It's a fucking camera on a stick with some wires in it. I'm just like, what are we doing here? What are we really doing here? Short the hell out of this thing, please. Fitbit was another one.
Oh yeah, Fitbit, yeah. Fitbit was strong.
Fitbit was another one.
Yeah,
you know what?
strong.
I have a great story here too. Movie Pass. I don't know if you know about it.
I remember Movie Pass.
It's a card that you can get. It's a $10 monthly card that you can get, and you can watch unlimited movies or whatever. I'm in LA with a couple of friends, actually a couple of your boys.
Okay.
You know, and we were talking music. They were talking, you know, about their business managers putting them into some stocks.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, what stocks are these? These guys are just yelling about this company called Movie Pass. And they were looking at their accounts every single second. And they're like, yo, we're up another couple grand. We're up another couple grand. I'm like, what is this company? And they told me the company. They told me the business. It was, you know, $10 a month and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, how does the movie theater make any money off of this? Why would they even sign up for this? This stock went from 50 cents to $30. And I'm like, dude. And I pulled it up at like 26.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm shorting this tomorrow. I'm shorting this tomorrow. They were like, what are you talking about? It's not going up anymore? It's not going up? And I'm like, dude, this thing is going to death. And I shorted the hell out of it at like 29. I covered it $14 the next day. And the thing's trading $4 right now.
That's crazy.
And these guys were all yelling. When I was texting them, like, get out of this thing. They were all yelling at me like, no, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. I'm like, dude, this is what I'm talking about emotions. You get attached to these things.
Yeah.
You think they're going to take you to heaven here, and you think they're going to make you rich. But a lot of these companies are completely bullshit. You know, and in certain type of markets, they take it to them. I mean, Snapchat was another big one. Nobody liked that update. Nobody liked that new update.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a great short. You know, there's so many examples of great short opportunities like that, and places where you can bet against companies. So again, there's tons of money to make out here. It just you know, depends on how much you dig deep inside to understand your own emotions, what makes you tick, and how you can take some of your time and put it towards a game like this.
Well, man, I want to thank you for just sharing more information
No
about
doubt.
what's going on in your world
No doubt.
with the viewers.
No doubt.
And,
No doubt.
you know, with that, I want to say thanks again.
All right, man.
You know,
Bring me on again.
I will.